दुनिया के हर देश में लाखों करोड़ों लोग अपना पैसा क्रिप्टो करेंसी में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं। क्या ये लोग पागल हो गए? क्या उनका पैसा डूब रहा है? और क्या क्रिप्टो करेंसी रियल है या फेक है? इन सब सवालों का जवाब मैं आपको आज दूंगा इस एपिसोड पे। उसके बाद मैं बात करने वाला हूं सिद्धार्थ मेनन के साथ, जो वजीर एक्स इंडिया के सबसे बड़े क्रिप्टो ट्रेडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म का को फाउंडर है, एंड ही इज गोना गिव मी सम वैल्यूएबल ट्रेडिंग टिप्स। सो आर यू रेडी? लेट्स स्टार्ट। इस एपिसोड को शुरू करने से पहले सबसे पहले जोरदार तालियां एल साल्वाडोर के लिए। वेल डन एल साल्वाडोर, यू हैव बिकम द फर्स्ट कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड वेयर बिटकॉइन हैज बिकम द ऑफिशियल करेंसी। वैसे एल साल्वाडोर का ऑफिशियल करेंसी यूएस डॉलर है, बट अलोंग विद द यूएस डॉलर दे हैव स्टार्टेड बाय एनैक्टिंग अ लॉ इन देयर सेनेट बिटकॉइन एज द ऑफिशियल करेंसी एज वेल। इसका मतलब यह है कि जब आप सुपरमार्केट जाते हो एल साल्वाडोर में, आप अपने अंडे और ब्रेड के लिए बिटकॉइन में पे कर सकते हो। वेल डन, फर्स्ट कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड। दूसरी बात यह है कि अगर आप क्रिप्टो कम्युनिटी का हिस्सा ऑलरेडी हो तो इस एपिसोड का पहला हिस्सा आप स्किप कर सकते हो, क्योंकि जो कुछ भी मैं बोलने वाला हूं आप ऑलरेडी जानते हो। सो यू कैन स्किप टू द पार्ट वेयर आई एम टॉकिंग टू सिद्धार्थ मेनन एंड ही इज गिविंग मी सम वैल्यूएबल टिप्स। अभी के लिए आप जाइए, चाय बनाइए, आराम कीजिए एंड कम बैक व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग टू सिद्धार्थ। So to start, to try and answer the question whether cryptocurrencies are real or fake money, सबसे पहले पूछते हैं कि क्रिप्टो करेंसी का वैल्यू कहां से आता है। वैसे किसी चीज का वैल्यू कहां से आता है? Let's take this note for example. इंडिया का 50 रुपए का नोट है और इस पे लिखा है, मैं धारक को 50 रुपए अदा करने का वचन देता हूं। लिखा हुआ है वहां पे हिंदी में एंड इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, और सिग्नेचर है गवर्नर का, आरबीआई गवर्नर का। मतलब इस नोट का वैल्यू इंडिया का आरबीआई गवर्नर और इंडिया की गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड करती है कि इसका वैल्यू 50 रुपए है। मतलब इस 50 रुपए के साथ मैं जाकर दुकान से चीनी खरीद सकता हूं, दुकानदार इस 50 रुपए के साथ अपना फोन रिचार्ज कर सकता है, और जो फोन दुकान का मालिक है इस 50 रुपए के साथ अपने बच्चे के लिए एक खिलौना खरीद सकता है। मतलब हम सब बिलीव करते हैं कि इस नोट का वैल्यू 50 रुपए है। उस विश्वास के बिना यह बस सिर्फ एक रंग बिरंगा कागज का टुकड़ा है। That's it. So in order for something to have value, firstly people have to believe it has value. मगर वो belief सिर्फ एक पार्ट है in creating value in that thing. For example, let's take something that I think everybody believes has value. Gold, जो पिछले 5000 सालों से लोग मान रहे हैं कि इस चीज में, इस मेटल में वैल्यू है और उसमें हम हमारा वैल्यू स्टोर कर सकते हैं। Let's take a look at some of the other properties of gold that give it value. Number one, gold को बनाना बहुत मुश्किल है। For something to have value, it must be difficult to make. 1000 किलो गोल्ड के रॉ मटेरियल से 1 ग्राम गोल्ड बनता है। It takes 1 ton of gold ore to make just 1 gram of gold. दूसरी बात, गोल्ड को कॉपी करना या फेक करना काफी मुश्किल है। In fact, it's quite easy to test the authenticity of gold. तीसरी बात, गोल्ड इज फंजिबल। इसका मतलब यह है कि एनी 1 ग्राम ऑफ गोल्ड इज लाइक एनी अदर ग्राम ऑफ गोल्ड। मैं आपको 1 ग्राम सोना दे सकता हूं और आप मुझे कोई भी ग्राम सोना वापस दे सकते हैं जिसकी वैल्यू इक्वल है, विच मीन्स गोल्ड इज फंजिबल। जस्ट लाइक दिस 50 रुपीज नोट, मैं आपको यह 50 रुपए दे सकता हूं और आप मुझे कोई दूसरा नोट दे सकते हैं जो 50 रुपए का है और उसकी वैल्यू वही होगी। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है स्केर्सिटी। गोल्ड को ढूंढना और बनाना बहुत मुश्किल है। इनफैक्ट द टोटल सप्लाई ऑफ गोल्ड पूरी दुनिया में गोज अप बाय लेस देन 2% एवरी ईयर। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है पोर्टेबिलिटी, मतलब इसको ट्रांसपोर्ट करना। सोना को ट्रांसपोर्ट करना काफी आसान है, बट इफ द वॉल्यूम ऑफ गोल्ड बिकम्स टू मच देन इट बिकम्स अ स्लाइट प्रॉब्लम। एंड फाइनली देयर इज द पॉइंट ऑफ वाइड स्प्रेड एक्सेप्टेंस। दुनिया के हर देश में पिछले 5000 सालों से लोग सोना को मान रहे हैं। They believe that it has value and that is why it is used even now as a very good store of value. Now, if we have to use these same points to determine कि Bitcoin का value कहां से आता है, let's see how that adds up. सबसे पहले difficulty in making. Bitcoin को बनाने के लिए you need a lot of computer power and electricity. It is not easy to make one Bitcoin. दूसरी बात, Bitcoin is almost impossible possible to fake. In fact, you have a better chance of climbing Mount Everest backwards, without oxygen, and with a donkey on your head than you do of faking Bitcoin. वो उतना मुश्किल है. तीसरी बात, fungibility, which means any Bitcoin is just like any other Bitcoin and they can be exchanged for each other. मतलब Bitcoin सोने की तरह बिल्कुल fungible है. Next point, is Bitcoin scarce? जैसे कि मैंने आपको समझाया, सोना का सप्लाई हर साल 2% इंक्रीज होता है, मगर बिटकॉइन का सप्लाई हैज बीन कैप्ड बाय द एल्गोरिथम एट 21 मिलियन कॉइन्स. मतलब कभी भी at any point in time the total number of bitcoins on the planet will not go over 2.1 crores, which means bitcoin is very very scarce, more scarce than gold. अब आते हैं पोर्टेबिलिटी पे, the transportation of bitcoin. क्योंकि बिटकॉइन एक डिजिटल एसेट है, यू कैन ट्रांसपोर्ट इट एनीवेयर अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड सीमलेसली इन नो टाइम एट ऑल. इनफैक्ट गोल्ड को ट्रांसपोर्ट करना काफी मुश्किल है, मगर बिटकॉइन को कभी भी कहीं भी आप ट्रांसपोर्ट कर सकते हो थ्रू द इंटरनेट. और रही बात एक्सेप्टेंस की, बिटकॉइन स्टार्टेड जस्ट ओवर 10 years ago and the number of people adopting bitcoin across the world is growing every day. In fact, हमारे देश में, इंडिया में, there are more than 1.5 crore people जिन्होंने क्रिप्टो करेंसी में इन्वेस्ट किया है, and that number is growing every single day. तो अब आप समझ गए हो कि दुनिया का सबसे वेल नोन, द मोस्ट पॉपुलर क्रिप्टो करेंसी बिटकॉइन, उसकी वैल्यू कहां से आती है. बट व्हाट अबाउट द अदर क्रिप्टोज? उनके बारे में समझने से पहले, वेयर डू थिंग्स लाइक व्हाट्सएप, टिंडर एंड स्नैपचैट गेट देयर वैल्यू फ्रॉम? व्हाट्सएप, टिंडर और स्नैपचैट जैसे एप्स को वैल्यू मिलता है उनके यूजर्स से. अगर सिर्फ 2-4 लोग इन एप्स को यूज कर रहे हैं, देयर बी नो वैल्यू इन देम. द वैल्यू ओनली कम्स व्हेन मिलियंस ऑफ पीपल आर यूजिंग स्नैपचैट, व्हाट्सएप एंड टिंडर. एक्चुअली कैन यू इमेजिन ओनली 2 people यूजिंग टिंडर? वो दोनों स्वाइप लेफ्ट कर रहे हैं और कुछ हो नहीं रहा है. Which means the actual value of these apps are the users. मगर जो वैल्यू इकट्ठा होता है वो जाता किसको है? वो जाता है किसी मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी को, एक कॉर्पोरेशन को, या उस इंडिविजुअल को जो उस ऐप को ओन करता है. नाउ इमेजिन कि ऐप के असली हकदार हैं द यूजर्स. ये एक बहुत ही पावरफुल कॉन्सेप्ट है, where users own the network. और ये आपको बार बार अलग अलग क्रिप्टो करेंसीज में नजर आएगा. So when users own the network, as the network grows, उसका वैल्यू भी बढ़ता है और वो वैल्यू वापस जाता है यूजर्स को, क्योंकि वो है नेटवर्क के असली ओनर्स. सो आई होप यू फॉलोड मी सो फार. यूजर्स ओन द नेटवर्क, और जैसे ही ज्यादा लोग उस नेटवर्क को इस्तेमाल करते हैं, उस नेटवर्क का वैल्यू बढ़ता जाता है. मगर इस नेटवर्क पे ट्रांजैक्शंस कैसे होते हैं? हाउ डू पीपल मेक मनी ऑन दिस नेटवर्क? उसको समझाने के लिए मैं आपको एक और एग्जांपल देना चाहता हूं. इमेजिन कि आप एक बिजनेसमैन हो और आपको काम के लिए अलग अलग शहर जाना पड़ता है, और काम के लिए यू हैव टू विजिट डिफरेंट सिटीज एवरी वीक, और उन शहरों में आपको एक रात रुकना पड़ता है फॉर वर्क, फॉर बिजनेस पर्पसेस. नाउ इन ऑर्डर टू स्टे इन दोस सिटीज, यू ऑब्वियसली कांट बाय अ हाउस इन एवरी सिटी. मोस्ट पीपल कांट डू दिस. तो आप क्या करते हो? आप होटल का रूम रेंट करते हो टू स्टे ओवरनाइट इन दैट सिटी. Similarly, just like houses are expensive and not everybody can buy them, sometimes technology can be very expensive too. दुनिया में बहुत कंप्यूटर डेवलपर्स और प्रोग्रामर्स हैं जिन्हें कुछ दिनों के लिए या कुछ घंटों के लिए they need a more powerful computer than the one that they have at home. और वो उस ज्यादा पावरफुल कंप्यूटर को खरीद नहीं सकते because quite simply it's too expensive. This problem that computer programmers and developers had was solved by the people behind the Golem token. उन्होंने कहा कि अगर आपके पास कोई कंप्यूटर है घर पे, रात को जब आप सो जाते हो, आप अपना कंप्यूटर को ऑफ मत कीजिए, बस उस कंप्यूटर के कंप्यूटेशनल पावर को गोलम नेटवर्क से जोड़ दो. जिसने भी ये कंप्यूटेशनल पावर गोलम नेटवर्क को डोनेट किया, उसको रिवॉर्ड किया गया गोलम टोकन्स में. और जिसको ये कंप्यूटेशनल पावर की जरूरत थी, उन्होंने इसी पावर को रेंट किया बाय पेइंग इन गोलम टोकन्स एज वेल. और अगर उनके पास गोलम टोकन्स थे नहीं, they could buy these tokens on a crypto exchange. मगर क्रिप्टो एक्सचेंज में आए कहां से? Well, when Golem came up with the idea, उन्होंने ये आइडिया दुनिया को अनाउंस किया in what is called a white paper. और उन्होंने कहा कि अगर आपको ये आइडिया अच्छा लगता है तो आप इस आइडिया में इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो. बेसिकली उन्होंने एक फंडिंग राउंड शुरू किया, और उस फंडिंग राउंड में उन्होंने $9 million, लगभग 55 करोड़, सिर्फ 19 मिनट में रेज किए. That's how good the idea was, and that's how many people wanted to support it. With that money, Golem was able to pay for developers, offices, designers, marketing, and bring their idea to life. Once this service came online, it became very popular. और जैसे सर्विस और पॉपुलर बनती गई, गोलम टोकन की डिमांड भी बढ़ती गई और ठीक स्टॉक मार्केट की तरह उसकी वैल्यू भी बढ़ती गई. जब डिमांड कम हुई तो वैल्यू गिरी भी. ये एक क्रिप्टो का एक यूज केस सिनेरियो है और वैसे ही अलग अलग क्रिप्टोज अलग अलग प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते हैं. एंड इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिमेंबर कि क्रिप्टो किसी एक किस्म का नहीं होता है. देयर आर मेनी डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ क्रिप्टो करेंसीज एंड हियर आर सम एग्जांपल्स. देयर आर एसेट करेंसीज व्हिच आर अ स्टोर ऑफ वैल्यू जैसे कि बिटकॉइन, इथेरियम एंड पैक्स गोल्ड. इसके साथ NFTs भी हैं, नॉन फंजिबल टोकन्स लाइक डिजिटल आर्ट. ये भी एक एसेट क्लास है. अनदर टाइप ऑफ क्रिप्टो करेंसी इज अ स्टेबल कॉइन. स्टेबल कॉइन का वैल्यू यूजुअली US डॉलर से पेग्ड है, which means usually the stable coin is equal to $1. कुछ स्टेबल कॉइन्स है USDT और Tether, Binance USD और DAI. There are also utility tokens like Golem and Filecoin. Like Golem shares computing power, Filecoin shares hard drive and storage space. People can donate storage space to the network and other people can borrow or use them from time to time. Then there are exchange tokens. Binance Exchange का खुद का टोकन है, जैसे Wazir X का भी टोकन है. It's used to pay brokerage and trading fees. फिर DeFi tokens भी हैं, जैसे कि Uniswap, PancakeSwap and Aave. And of course, networks को चलाने वाले protocol tokens भी है, like Ethereum, Matic and Neo. In protocol tokens, you've got layer 1, layer 2 और कुछ tokens sidechain tokens भी हैं. Then of course, you've got those tokens that are very, very popular. Meme coins, scams and what the community calls shit coins. The most well-known ones are Doge, Shiba Inu and there's even one called Cumrocket. A new type of token is a security token, जहां पे एक कंपनी का शेयर को टोकनाइज किया गया है. नॉर्मली शेयर बाजार पे आप किसी कंपनी का एक शेयर खरीद सकते हो, आधा शेयर नहीं. But as a token, that one share of Tesla or Apple can be broken up into multiple fractions and these tokens can be sold. Their value is linked to the value of the share. तो अब आप समझ गए हो कि क्रिप्टो करेंसीज एक चीज नहीं है, ये अलग अलग किस्म के होते हैं. मगर मेरा ओरिजिनल सवाल ये था कि क्या क्रिप्टो करेंसीज रियल हैं कि ये फेक है. इसके बारे में जानने के लिए लेट्स टॉक टू सिद्धार्थ मेनन, who is the co-founder of India's biggest crypto trading platform, WazirX. Finally, the man is here. Hey man, welcome to Connect with Nikhil Chinappa. Siddharth Menon, it's a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Same here, man. I'm really looking forward for this. And you guys are doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you. But listen, the question that we've been asking since the beginning of the episode is कि क्या cryptocurrency real है कि fake है? इसका आंसर क्या है?
Pretty funny answer, right? Like in the sense, I think back in 2012 or 10 somewhere, I met a professor, an IIT professor, and he kept telling me about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is this, Bitcoin is then. And I always thought it was scam, right? Like back then, it was very difficult to even imagine what it is about. But then obviously, after reading a lot, now I believe that, it is definitely there is a lot of good there. But yeah, there is a little bit of scam as well. You should be always careful about all these things.
That's the thing, right? Because when I try and explain it to people that there are so many great projects that people can invest in, there's so many great use case scenarios of cryptocurrencies, but because it's a digital asset, it's a digital thing, it also makes it easier for evil people to do bad things. So you really do have to do your own research and you have to check up on what it is that you're investing in. And at the end of the day, it depends on the investor, because when you have financial products, whether it's the stock market, whether it's in a chit fund, whether it's with banks as well, scams are possible anywhere and everywhere.
Absolutely, yeah.
You really do have to do your own research. So the correct answer, you heard it from the horse's mouth, is cryptocurrencies are both real and fake, right?
Yeah, there is a little bit of fake there. You have to be very careful about it. But in general, you see a lot of positive things that is happening. If you know the fundamentals, you read about it, you're on a good side.
I'm a big believer in the future of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies myself. And I think more and more people are coming around to seeing what the potential is for the future. And I said this somewhere else as well, that cryptocurrencies are to 2021 what the internet was to 1991.
Exactly.
In 1991, people didn't understand what this thing called the internet was going to be used for. They just thought, hey, you can send emails to each other. We don't need that. We've got the postal service. And today, you know that the internet is everywhere. And I personally believe that in 20 years' time, we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies the way we're talking about the internet today.
That, by the way, I'm very curious, Nikhil. How did you sort of get into crypto? Like, from where you are and, what you've been doing. And you're talking about so much sense here. I'm just trying to, wrap my head around, how did you get into crypto?
I think like I won't say I'm an old timer, but like all the old timers that got into cryptocurrency, I did not do my research. I did not check on the fundamentals. I just basically FOMO'd in during the last bull run in 2017. I was reading about it. This thing called cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was going up and I was like, hey, I'm going to buy into it. And I bought into it at the peak. And then I kept buying as it kept dropping. I kept buying the dips and finally it dipped so low. I was like, forget about it. And it doesn't stop there. In November last year, when this bull run started, when the Bitcoin value came back for me to recoup my investment, I sold most of it. I sold most of it in November when Bitcoin was still at like 14 lakhs or 13 lakhs or something. I'm like, why did I do that? Crazy.
Yeah, I think this was, I think a lot of people start like that. I think probably for me, I started buying though I was involved, I started buying in 2013. And maybe into early 2017, I bought Bitcoins at like 10,000, 18,000, etc.
Rupees? 10,000 rupees?
Yes. I mean, crazy, right? Like now when I think about it, oh shit, I should have just held on.
You still have it?
But no, I think when it went to 60,000 or 17,000, I was like, wow, this is the best investment in my life. And I just sold off. And then ever since I just, pinched myself, why did I do that? Right? Like, I mean, everybody has that moment. But
I guess that's when we all start to learn, right? It's exactly. I sold the Bitcoin too early, and then I realized that and you start to read more about the technology behind it. You read more about how rare and valuable Bitcoin is. That's when you start to kind of check up on other cryptocurrencies and you start doing your own research. And actually my education in crypto even though I invested in 2017, actually started this year when I started to read up more and learn more and talk to more people about this entire environment and universe called cryptocurrencies and blockchain. That's when it actually started.
Yeah, and actually it's quite true for a lot of people, by the people who started in 2017, people who FOMO'd in, whatever reason who put in a lot of money. Back in the bear market is when they started reading a bit more, and some of them really believed in it and held on, and some of them probably did not believe in it and moved out. But what that exercise did is more and more people have actually gone ahead and read about it, and learn about it, and that's a very good cycle.
Yes.
Like, so the more knowledge, the better it is.
Also, for everybody watching right now, if you have ever FOMO'd in on Bitcoin or on any crypto, please leave a comment because we want to hear your story as well. Leave a comment in the comment section because we want to know what crypto it was that you FOMO'd in on and whether you got your fingers burnt or whether it's worked out well. Let us know in the comments. So we were talking about whether cryptos are real or fake, and we know there are a few cryptos out there that have done crazy things. One is a great story of BitConnect. I think that most of the old timers would have seen this video. You've seen the video, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was the I think the famous meme of BitConnect. Everybody knows about it.
This was one of the biggest scams in cryptocurrency. So let's go take a quick look at that video right now, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
BitConnect! BitConnect! BitConnect!
Man, that guy is one of the funniest people I've ever seen on stage. And guys, if you want to learn more about what that scam was, it's all over the internet. You can go read about it, but it's a little too complicated to get into over here. But let's not just talk about the scammy stuff. Siddharth, you know about so many great crypto platforms and use case scenarios. Why don't you tell us about some of the great things that you know from this universe?
Right. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of projects out there. Maybe I would want to talk about a little bit of Ethereum, right? Like just because everybody knows about Ethereum.
After Bitcoin, I think that's the most well-known cryptocurrency.
After Bitcoin, right? Like because I mean, we are going through a big revolution here. Right? Not just Bitcoin becoming powerful, but in general, we are going from a centralized products to a decentralized network where most of the things happens on the decentralized on a network. So, for example. So then in the whole case, right, you have today Facebook, Instagram, which is a very centralized product, right? Or even Google, it's a very centralized product. So we are moving sort of away from it, or there is another movement that we can say the whole decentralized part is happening. So back in 70s or 80s is when the whole OS, that is operating system, started coming up. You had Linux of the world.
Yep.
You had Windows coming in board. A lot of more things started coming in 70s and 80s. Now that is the foundation on which today you have Facebook being running on it. You have Google being running on it. These are the foundation products that was needed, infrastructure that was needed to run products like Facebook, Instagram, Google, and many other products that you guys use on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
And we completely ignore that. These are like, the foundation. And what Ethereum is doing to the whole decentralized network is Ethereum has created something called as Ethereum virtual machine, which is basically executing a code on the network, not on one machine. It is on the network. It's completely decentralized. And to make that happen, right, they've done a lot of development around it. And it's like phenomenal, right, in terms of when you think about it.
So
you can do something.
I'm just going to pause you there for a second. Sorry, just so that we can keep pace with what you're saying. What you're saying is that the internet had operating systems, and on those operating systems, platforms like Facebook, Google, Snapchat, Instagram were built, right?
Right.
Similarly, you're saying that Ethereum is that operating layer for decentralized platforms? Okay.
Exactly.
So we're with you. So Ethereum is the operating system of decentralized applications.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
Carry on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, when we look at Ethereum has become the operating system of the decentralized platform, where it has created something called as Ethereum virtual machine, where all these things are executed. These codes are executed. Decentralized apps are working on this. Today, there's a lot more products that has been built on top of it. We have products like decentralized finance, which is completely built on it. There's like so many products like decentralized exchanges, decentralized lending, decentralized insurance. Many products have been built on top of it. And also, when you talk about non-fungible tokens, right, it also sort of born out of Ethereum, where you have these tokens or marketplaces, which is on the Ethereum, right? So if you see, there are many things coming on board, right? Like, and this is where you realize the real value of what the Ethereum holds, right? What it's going to be in future. And, that by itself is pretty exciting, right? Like where it is heading.
So to cut a long story short, a project like Ethereum is as real as the internet is.
Yes,
Coming back to answer
absolutely.
the question about whether cryptocurrencies are real or fake, right? So Ethereum, in a way, is as real as the internet. So if you believe in the internet, then it should stand to good reason that you should also believe in Ethereum.
Right. And also the value that you derive out of, right? Like if you feel this is going to be grand, then, you have a value that you can think about, where this should go. And that's how even the value for every token also comes on board, right? So when you understand the fundamentals of these things, what it's going to do and where it is today, you understand, the real value of what Ethereum is about. I'm just specifically talking about Ethereum because I believe in it. And, the Ethereum is a token that is within this value system, the Ethereum ecosystem, where you need Ethereum to run more code. You need Ethereum to run these things, right? So there is already a value system being created. And if you believe in it, you know what to do.
And that's what gives that token, the ETH token, the Ether token, its value.
Its value, correct. Absolutely.
Okay. So guys, once again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Please do not listen to us for financial advice. We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. If you are going to be investing in cryptocurrencies, please understand what the market risks are, understand your own risk profile, and always only invest only as much money as you will not lose sleep over. That is very, very important. But what you can do, and this is advice that you should take, you should hit that like button. You should leave a comment. You should tell us what you think about the show, because your feedback is what pushes this video even further and also keeps us informed about what we should be doing next on the show called Connect with Nikhil Chinappa. Siddharth, thank you so much. And we'll see you soon on another episode of Connect.
Thanks, Nikhil.
So that about does it, guys. That was our episode on whether cryptocurrencies are real or fake. The correct answer is it's a bit of both. So make sure that you do your own research. And in the meantime, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and leave a comment, because your comments are what keeps us fueled on these shows of Connect with Nikhil Chinappa. I'll catch up with you on our next episode. Till then, stay safe and keep trading.